MC3 Tool 5, Navigating Authority Without Triggering Resistance. How clarity improves when power is acknowledged rather than challenged. Many client conversations become difficult not because the issue is complex, but because authority is misread. Decision stall. Responsibility blurs. Direction shifts without explanation. Professionals often experience this as avoidance or lack of ownership, when in reality the conversation has entered a zone where authority, permission, and accountability are no longer aligned. Navigating authority is therefore not about asserting control. It is about recognizing where authority sits and designing communication that works with it rather than against it. Authority is rarely where it appears. In global client work, authority is often distributed unevenly. The person speaking may not be the person deciding. Accountability may sit with someone absent from the conversation. Formal titles may not reflect informal influence. When this misalignment is ignored, communication becomes performative. Clients speak as though they have freedom they do not possess. Commitments are expressed cautiously. Decisions are framed ambiguously. Later changes are blamed on external factors. What looks like indecision is often accurate navigation of a constrained system. Why challenging authority creates resistance. When professionals push for clarity without accounting for authority, they often increase pressure unintentionally. Direct questions about ownership, timelines, or commitment can place clients in an impossible position: respond honestly and expose limitation, or respond confidently and risk misalignment. Many choose the safer option. This is why pushing harder for answers sometimes results in greater vagueness. The issue is not unwillingness. It is exposure. Making authority visible without forcing admission. Effective navigation of authority involves making its structure visible without demanding that clients name it explicitly. This may involve acknowledging dependencies, referencing process, or framing decisions as collective rather than individual. When authority is recognized indirectly, clients gain room to respond accurately. They can surface constraints without appearing weak or unprepared. Communication becomes more honest because it feels safer. Ownership follows permission. Responsibility cannot be taken where permission does not exist. When professionals expect ownership that exceeds a client's authority, frustration builds on both sides. The client appears evasive. The professional feels blocked. Clarifying what can be decided, what must be consulted, and what cannot yet be committed to restores alignment. Ownership becomes proportional to authority rather than aspirational. Cultural expectations shape authority dynamics. Authority is interpreted differently across cultures. In some contexts, initiative is expected. In others, deference signals professionalism. Challenging authority openly may be valued in one system and damaging in another. Under pressure, people revert to culturally safe behaviors. Professionals who misinterpret these responses risk escalating tension or undermining trust. Navigating authority requires sensitivity not only to organizational structure, but to cultural expectation. Reducing power struggle by removing the struggle. Power struggles arise when authority is contested or unclear. They rarely arise when authority is acknowledged and respected. This does not mean surrendering control. It means working at the correct level of influence. When communication aligns with real authority, resistance decreases. Conversations become less charged. Progress becomes more predictable. Why this tool stabilizes long-term relationships. Clients trust professionals who understand how their organization works. When authority is navigated skillfully, clients feel less pressure to perform competence. They are more willing to share constraints. Collaboration becomes more realistic. This trust accumulates quietly, strengthening the relationship over time. Authority as a stabilizing structure. Authority, when recognized properly, provides structure rather than obstruction. It clarifies what is possible, what is pending, and what requires escalation. Communication stabilizes when expectations align with reality. This tool allows professionals to move from frustration to foresight, managing authority as part of the system rather than a personal obstacle. How this tool fits into the MC3 system. Navigating authority without triggering resistance reinforces the previous tools. Alignment becomes more accurate. Pace becomes appropriate. Exposure decreases. Emotional load lightens. The next tool builds on this by addressing how responsibility and accountability can be clarified without blame, particularly when miscommunication has already begun to surface.